Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 73 of Cute Little Love Letters, and this one is titled Talk on the Wind. Your mum could feel and hear the urgency in your voice and just nodded her head. I'll go and get Dad, she said, and turned quickly to go and get him, her long dress flowing calmly out behind her purposeful steps. You put your bag down at the front door and then walked into the hall and down to the main area to wait for them, your heart still beating wildly in your chest. It wasn't long before both your mum and your dad returned, and your dad gave you a worried look. What happened, my sweet Fae? He asked as he walked over and engulfed you in a hug. The fear you had been feeling melted inside of you and turned into liquid, and then you started crying. Dad, I'm so scared. I think there was a fox Faerie out there, you said in a wobbly voice. I know I have some explaining to do, but first, would they come into this house? I have put up strong magical barriers around this house, your mum said. The crystals protect us, but if you feel we need to burn some sage, then I will do so for your sake. I would like that. If it's okay, Mum, I'm just really scared, you said in a wobbly voice, wiping your eyes of the tears as soon as your dad let you go, but being unable to keep up with the flow. Come and sit, your dad said to you, and then turned to look after your mum. Sweet, would you mind making some passiflora? The water is already boiling, my love. I've got 3 mugs set out, your mum called politely over her shoulder as she headed for the apothecary to get some sage. Come, Petal, your dad said gently. Let's head to the dining table. Yes, please. I want to stay inside. I don't want to go out onto the deck, you said with a shudder. Your mum returned with some sage, already lit, and walked around the table, encircling you and your dad with the cleansing smoke while you sat there watching silently. I also bought these up for you, your mum said as she opened her hand to show you a gem bracelet that she had made for you. Thank you, Mum, you said softly, sniffing lightly as you took the bracelet from her and put it on your left wrist and then looked down at it, the clear, almost transparent stones shining in the overhead light, and you looked up at her. Satin Spar Celatine, to help remove any negative energy from around you, as well as to promote your own spiritual growth, your mum said, seeing for the first time the rose quartz necklace around your neck. She was going to point it out, but thought it best to wait until that part of the conversation came up, for now you needed to talk about what was bothering you. Taking a seat beside you, your mum gently placed the burning sage in a tray in the middle of the table and then took a deep breath in, then out, reaching for your hand to hold it while she spoke. We are here for you, my sweet girl. Please speak your heart, hold nothing back, and may you feel lighter than the sparrow on the summer breeze, she said gently, squeezing your hand. You gave her a teary smile, and then you looked at your dad. I don't know where to start, but Dad, your mum is still alive. The Queen, she's still alive, and she wants you to know that she still loves you, you said, more tears springing into the corners of your eyes and spilling down your cheeks. Your dad immediately welled up with tears as well and broke down, placing both his hands over his whole face to hide his ugly crying, and you started bawling. I think I'll get the tea, your mum thought as she got up and left silently, leaving you and your dad to be together in this moment. I know this, because I met her, you wobbled out. You what? Your dad asked incredulously, dropping his hands from his face, his red eyes staring at you. You nodded. It's a bit of a long story, but I wanted you to know that first. And Dad, I recognized her. I recognized her face. Dad, I have a memory of seeing her face and her room. It was yellow, and she confirmed that. Did you ever take me there when I was little? You asked. Your dad shook his head. No, I never did, he replied with confusion written all over his face. Just then your mum returned with the tea, and he turned to her. Love, please listen to this. He beckoned of her. Petal, please tell her, he urged of you. You repeated what you'd said to him about recognizing the Queen, and your mum hummed. I'm not sure, she said, but I know they protect us. There are butterflies. Oh, yes, Saria, yes, you replied brightly, and your mum blinked at you. Yes, Mum, the fairy guards conceal themselves as butterflies. I met Saria. He is the Queen's right-hand fae, you said brightly. He spoke highly of you and said you noticed him near you. She nodded. Yes, that is true, although I wasn't completely sure if I was correct, but it was a strong feeling I had. She replied, I also hypothesized that if they have magic, they might also be able to install a memory into your mind by touching you. She mused. It could be that a butterfly touch may have put the memory into your head, so that if they ever did reveal themselves to you, you would recognize them. Your mum mused. Because as far as we are aware, you've never been to the fairy village. You hummed. I suppose. I wish I'd asked them how I got the memory. The Queen did say that she had me in her room. Your mum and Dad just looked at each other. Surely you hadn't been taken there without them knowing. Anyway, sorry, Mum. I should keep telling the story. It was during the getaway weekend. You started, retelling the story of how you had been encouraged away by a glowing butterfly and had met the Queen, and how she had told you everything about your dad's past, and he nodded sadly. It's all true, he said as he hung his head. I try not to think about it. He added, I'm so sorry, Dad, you said sadly. But that clairvoyant at the markets, it's her. It's the one who made you do what you did. She's the one. Your dad looked startled. We knew who she really was, your mum said, but we didn't know that she was the exact self-same one. Yes, it's her. Saria is doing his best to track her, but she's sneaky apparently, you mused. Well, your mum said, there has been a lot going on. Oh, and also the Queen told me how to watch out for, bad, Fae, and I got the feeling she spoke about when I was walking home. That's why I was so scared when I got here. I don't know if she's going to try and do something to me, you said nervously. Your dad looked at your mum, and your mum sighed. This is why speaking of such entities excites the winds and disrupts the energy flow, your mum said wisely. Even speaking vaguely, if spoken for long enough, draws them near, and although I do understand that we need to talk today, the more the tongue moves with their names and business, the more they enter closer. She said, we are protected within this great oak, but mind that you keep your gemstones on you when you are out, your mum said, gesturing to your wrist and necklace. It was then that you remembered the necklace and smiled as you touched your hand to it. Also, I have news, you said with a gentle, loving smile. Denki and I are dating. Your dad's face brightened so quickly you thought he was going to explode. That's fantastic, he said brightly. We need to invite him over for dinner one night as a celebration. How's tomorrow night for you two? Oh, you replied with the same amount of surprise. I'll ask him, but I'm sure he'll be okay. I'm very happy to hear that you two are an item now, your mum said, leaning across to give you a hug. Is he the one who gave you this necklace? Yeah, you said with a loving smile. He got it at the markets. He picked well, you added. He most certainly did, she replied with a smile in return. He's a lovely young man, and we are more than happy to welcome him into our little family. He will be much loved and cherished here. You smiled. Thank you, Mum. Thank you, Dad, you said kindly. I feel much better already. I just hope nothing else happens, though. You sighed sadly. There's already been a lot going on this last week. It's very true. Stay tuned for chapter 74 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.